Genesis 4:3. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. This is the first time the word offering ever occurred in the Bible. The Hebrew word is minkah. M-I-N-C-H-A-H. Be writing. I told you I'll be fast. This is the first time the word offering occurred in the Bible. The Hebrew word is what? Minkah. M-I-N-C-H-A-H. Have you written that down? Now watch this. It says, in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. Minkah. Let me show you what it means. It stands for about three things. Minkah stands for three things. Number one, an offering is a gift. It stands for a gift. Are you with me? Number two, it stands for tribute. Tribute. Tribute, that is a payment. Number three, it also stands for sacrifice. But this is what minkah means. It's an offering that the English gave to us. But the Hebrew is minkah. And minkah means three things. It means, number one, what did you write? Give it to me. A gift. It could mean, hold on. It could mean that one day Cain just sat down and said, wow, look at my barn. The barn of yam, corn, maize, so beautiful. There must be a God who is responsible for this thing and he has blessed me. So let me give him a gift. Let me give him a what? A gift. Now, there was no question. There was no discussion like God said to him, bring for me. No. It was a gift. Okay? Let's say it's a gift. One of the meaning for the word offering, minkah. So, gift. All right? It could also mean a tribute. That Cain thought that this land that I cultivated, I yielded to me. From what my father told me, from what my father Adam told me, this land does not belong to him. It belongs to God. So why don't I take out from what this land has given to me and give a tribute? That means a payment to this God. Not like he told me. And we don't know what he gave. Are you learning? Tribute. I'm trying to explain. It's not like... Am I too fast? It's not like God told him this is the amount you're going to give to him. But he felt, this is good. Let me just take some and give to him as a tribute, as a payment for the land upon which I cultivate. Have you gone to my 12 to buy yam? Have you gone to K2 to buy 12? To buy fruit? The moment you're done, you stand there. Some guys will just come and tell you, Uole. The land you are staying upon does not belong to you. They tell you, Uole, but you bought yam from somewhere. And the guy that sold it to you pay for the place. It's okay, give us 100 naira. It's usually little. But you can tell that government never send these people. But they just formed an association and they do something. They're taking advantage of something. It's in the market. So now, you're going to get a boss. The boss is going to Oshodi. You will pay for yourself and pay for the load. You see the payment now is becoming much. These are payment, tribute. So Cain thought, God has blessed me through this land. The land has yielded to me some fruit for my upkeep. So I want to give God an offering, a tribute. A kind of payment without, nobody spoke to him. This is him himself. A kind of payment for allowing me use his land because he knows that the land does not belong to him. And when you read Psalm 24 verse 1, you see that the earth belongs to the Lord. So can I just give back? So that is the second definition for the word offering. Tribute, payment. Are you writing? The third one is sacrifice. Now, the word sacrifice, they have two definitions, two explanations to it. So draw an arrow. Let me quickly give you that. Two explanations to it. The first one is an act of atonement, worship or thanksgiving. An act of atonement, worship or what? Thanksgiving. Which means your offering can serve as an atonement, as a worship, or as a form of what? Thanksgiving. So you can see someone coming in $500 million and he's just saying to the Lord, I want to thank you. Anytime we give an offering is also an act of what? Worship. That's what he's telling you. Now, the second one means To surrender something of value. To surrender something of what? Value. That's what the word sacrifice also means. To surrender something of value. To give up something that is important to you. That's sacrifice. To give up something that is important to you. Are you getting it now? So, if you have $2 million and you take 1,000 naira, is that a sacrifice? Because, that's what most of us do here. When we say take up your seed, you come with 500 naira. But you look at your account and you truly can say, I have more than 50 million, 10 million. And you say 500 naira. That's not. And if that is your own act of worship, atonement, or thanksgiving, so what you are thanking the Lord with for all he has done for you is 500 naira. Tell your neighbor, you wicked. Praise God. Let's quickly look at, so have we seen that according to Genesis chapter 4 verse 3? Offering, minka, what it means. First, second, tribute means what? Payment. 3, all right, you're a good student. Clap for yourself. According to the scriptures, let's look at the types of offering that were listed. Now this is the first time this was mentioned. Remember, this time where it was mentioned here, God never spoke to them. But let's look at the types mentioned in the Bible when, according to the Mosaic law. Put it there, according to the Mosaic law. Mosaic law. Mosaic means Moses' law. So instead of saying Moses, just say Mosaic. M-O-S-I-A-C. Mosaic law. Right? So let's look at some of the offerings that were listed there. Number 1, the burnt offering. Leviticus chapter 1, 1-4. Leviticus chapter 1, 1-4. The burnt offering. You see it listed in the Bible. It's voluntary. It's not compulsory. God never says this is. But this is according to Mosaic law. But I want you to know that the one we read in Genesis chapter 4 verse 3, there was no command as to bring it to me. It was willing. So this was, offerings were willing before the Mosaic law came and made it a compulsory. People willingly gave. And you're going to see it. That's where all of the offerings you ever see that I'm going to touch came from. Offerings were willingly. God never said, now bring to me. Because as he brought his own, his brother also brought. And if you look at this, the third definition, sacrifice. When I was defining, I touched atonement. Atonement. Now, this guy brought from the fruit of the ground. If you allow me, I'm going to do on offering alone. I can do an extensive, very extensive 3 months teaching on that. That's every day. One, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for 3 months. So put together, you can see how many hours it's going to be. So what I'm doing here now is just touching it. And it might not be able to answer all the questions that you probably will meet. But at least we can do justice to something. So the definition for sacrifice that you see one touching, worship, atonement, thanksgiving. Now, the word atonement is to atone for a sin that was committed. You get? Now, if you're going to atone for a sin that's committed, the benchmark, the order, the requirement must be that which touches blood. But what Cain brought was of the fruit of the ground. Pawpaw, mango, guava, odar. Are you with me? Orange, yam. These are the fruit he brought to God. And definitely God is not going to boil yam and buy egg. God is not going to lick mango. If this is going to touch atonement, all of these things cannot. And it's the reason why when his brother brought animals to him, God accepted that one. Because it touches atonement. Give the Lord a big hand. Because people might ask you, why did God reject this one and accepted this one? You see, people say it's because God does not like orange. Does he lick orange? Does he take orange? Does he take guava? Does he take mango? As touching that. And now, do you know one thing? When he brought it, when his brother Abel brought it, are you following me? What he did was to kill it and burn it. And the smoke, God perceived it. Atonement, good. Sins covered. Because the father sinned. But you can't burn pawpaw. Even if you burn orange and burn, it's going to take, you can't, in fact, it's an insult to burn guava to God. So he valued this other one and this one he didn't value. And this one now, his brother got angry. And God told him, if you have done well, he said, why are you angry? If you have done well, I would have accepted it. So, bro, George was telling us something yesterday. The means of, exchange back there. Why don't you do trade and barter? Your brother probably will need yam. He won't eat meat all the days of his life. Give him some yam, give him some this thing, collect some animal, burn it also, let it be accepted. There's no need being angry. If this is why God accepted this, can I get the best of your goat, best of your cow? Okay, I'm going to give you this in exchange. Get it, also slaughter it. God will be happy. And this is where jealousy and envy comes in. Don't get jealous over someone that the Lord has accepted simply because. Go close to the person, find out the system, what has the person done, learn from it, and come back. It doesn't have to be by age. You can learn from a 20-year-old boy that the Lord has put his seal upon. Stop looking at me like that. Give someone a high five. Say, we are learning. Leviticus chapter 1, 1-4. Are we learning? Good student, burnt offering. And the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, if any man of you bring me an offering unto the Lord, you shall bring you your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. Okay? All right? If his offering be a burnt sacrifice, that's where it came from. Burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without a blemish. Even God now had to choose. But when they offered it came, God never spoke anything. But this time around, a command, you have to give me this one. You shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of congregation before the Lord. Verse 4. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. You see now, it's not like God. It's still atonement for him. So that is where the burnt offering comes in. Number 2, grain offering. This is the one that guy offered. Leviticus chapter 2, 1-2. This one is an offering of the fruit of the ground in the form of a cake or bread. Chapter 2 from verse 1. This one is called the grain offering. Are you still with me? Please don't lose me. Don't lose me. Don't lose me. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it and put a frankincense thereon. Verse 2. And he shall bring it to Aaron's son the priest, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made unto the Lord by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Lord. This one is called a grain offering. Number 3, peace offering. Peace offering. Leviticus chapter 3, 1-2. This one is the one you offer to God for thanksgiving and for fellowship. For thanksgiving and for what? Fellowship. Now, under the peace offering, there are 3 that comes under it. Number 1, vow offering. Number 2, thanksgiving offering. And number 3, free will offering. Are you learning? I take that again. Under the peace offering, there are 3 that comes under it. Number 1 is the vow offering. Number 2 is the thanksgiving offering. Number 3 is the what? Free will offering. Now, you know what vow is. Lord, do this for me, I will do this. That's number 1. Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm coming to what? Thank the Lord for what he has done for me. Number 3, free will. I just woke up. I want to just bless the Lord for something. You know? Sometimes you just give free will, not because God did anything. Just, Lord, I'm just happy. You are just being good. You are a good God. So I bring you an offering. You just bring it. Right? These are just, they all fall under the what? Peace offering. Verse 1. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering. You see there? If he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord. So even there are requirements there. Verse 2. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron's sons, the priest, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. Number 4, sin offering. Leviticus chapter 4, 2-3. Chapter 4, 2-3. This one is a mandatory offering. The sin offering was a mandatory offering, and it is offered for purification. Why is this important? It covers the sin of the people. That's why it's called the sin offering. And they offer it like every day. You sin, you go to God. And you know, a type of it is what you find the Roman Catholics kind of want to practice when you go to Reverend Father to confess your sins and before you receive them. Are you there? Now, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a soul shall sin through ignorance, watch this, against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them. This is even in the Old Testament. There's God's idea to able to cover them for what they did. This one now is ignorant. But there's another one where it says, even when they know. Verse 3. If the priest that is anointed do sin, look at the priest now that is anointed, if he now sins. The word is if the priest do sin, according to the sin of the people, that's according to their kind of sin, the sin of human, for instance, sin. Then let him bring for his sin, which he had sinned, a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. Sin is sin. Just don't worry. Verse 4. I don't want to go there. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hands upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Lord. So, who receives it here? At least not all the priests sins. The sin that is pertinent to. So, the one that has not sinned will receive it from the one who has sinned, killed it, sprinkled the blood. And the moment he does that, he's forgiven. How then can we go on our knees and ask God to forgive us and we are not forgiven? What kind of God? Going down on your knees is far better than killing this one, because Christ was killed for you. Give him a big round of applause. Number what? 5. Trespass offering. Leviticus chapter 5 verse 1 to 3. The trespass offering. Are you with me? Now this particular offering touches the damage you do against someone. The things you have done against someone. For instance, have you heard what the word accident? You know, the guy was driving, killed someone, someone's fowl, someone's daughter, someone's goat. You get it? Mistakenly, you broke someone's egg. You just did something against someone. You impregnated someone's daughter. But that's not an accident, you know. All right, let's go through this. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness whether he has sinned or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Verse 2. If a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he shall also be unclean and what? Guilty. Verse 3. Or if it touch the uncleanness of a man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled without, it shall be hid from him, whether he knoweth of it, then he shall be what? Guilty. The same thing too, you see, if it touches a woman too, that is what? Unclean. So what do you mean unclean? The woman that is unclean. Unclean means unclean. Unclean means she is in her flow and you touch her. So you're not even supposed to touch. She's supposed to go out. If she's going, she's in her flow. If she's going amongst people, she will shout, unclean. People will shift. Wow. What a way. That means if you ever go to Oshodi, there will be many unclean. You'll just be hearing, unclean. Because let's thank God for Jesus. Jesus is wonderful. So we have dealt with all the offering. We have dealt with all the offering. So after the offering, the first time the offering was mentioned in Genesis chapter 4, then there's another offering that was also mentioned, but not in Genesis chapter 4. This one, we see Cain practicing the first offering. There's another man also who practiced another kind of offering. This one is called Tithes. Genesis chapter 14. This is Abraham.